Welcome, future scholars.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my first episode. High school math teacher who is talking about engineerings. My name is Meerkat. Some people call me Mason. Anyhow, I'm teaching my high school students in my private academy for math. So I'm just basically a math teacher. I don't know about the codings. My major was not computing science, something like that. So this is going to be the first episode of my side hobby. Maybe occasionally I'm loading the files like this, but bear with me. English is not my mother tongue, so sometimes I can make some mistakes. Do me a favor. Anyway, so today my main topic is how I use AI every day with my job. So even if you are not an engineer, even if you're not a coder, these days a lot of people are using artificial intelligence on their daily basis, right? So today I think I'm going to introduce what I deal with, my jobs, that what kind of stuff that I hand over to my agent, and I am focusing the other times with my students more. That was my main objective. So let's begin. So I have to first explain what's my major job these days. So because students go to their school, and when they off from their school, the major hours, then we usually having a classroom at the evening from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. every day. So I have to prepare the quizzes during the lunchtime or after the work. Right now, it's just like 4 a.m., something like that. I usually work during the night. That's how our field goes. So every week, you have to prepare your students' quizzes and worksheets and answer keys and your side notes to report to the parents' weekly base or bi-weekly base, depending on the class atmosphere and teachers' capacity or their motivations. But anyway, as many students are subscribing my lecture, the problem goes is that more bundles of work that I have to take care of rises. Then the amount of the energy that I can focus to the specific students are diverged and normalized so that every single my hour per students go down, right? And I'm a teacher, not a coder. So, but I was curious because everyone is using open sources, right? I've been using frontier models like Gemini, Grok, or Perplexity, or Claude over last 1.5 years, but that was not my major job. So I occasionally use it, but still my honest question was, can the computer do the 90% of boring jobs that you have to type the quizzes every day? And rather I just focused on to prepare my lecture and meet my students more frequently, getting more their questions to deal with daily basis. That was my motivation. So I noticed something a little different. Maybe 10 years later, a decade later, I don't know, something will be changed. A physical AI come into the real life, and robots can, or even drones in the classroom, they can read the image text on the paper itself. But these days, all the thing that artificial intelligence can do is just get the plain text rather than image, right? So a page of the photo is required. And first of the stuff that I have to do, taking care of, is OCR, which is optical character reading system. So this is the tool that turns the image of the picture into the text so the artificial intelligence can digest, right? That's the way that agents do much better. So I searched all of the communities, and like I started to learn there's a Hugging Face, there's SWE-bench arena, and other kind of very cool stuff out there, right? Everyone is sharing very cool videos these days. I also subscribe Matthew Berman. He's a really, really good guy. Thanks to Matthew Berman, I learned a lot of stuff. And anyway, the first stuff that I found was LM Studio. So LM Studio is a free app that you can download anytime. Search for the Hugging Face, and you can easily download it. And then from there, like the screen that I just pasted in here, you can basically learn your open models by downloading from Hugging Face and then utilize to your stored GPU. So it depends on the specs that you have, but basically the free RAM is the calculation method, right? How the fast the AI generates generate answers for your question. But loading the model itself also takes some memories. So if you can see here, there's 18.23 gigabytes. It's just waking up the agent to work. So at least 24 gigabytes of memory is required to run Gemma 4, which is my major model today. Anyway, that's how it works. So I was thinking that frontier models like Gemini can do a lot of jobs, but math quizzes, especially Korean math quizzes, has a very formal frame and a lot of diagrams involved. So if you just paste the image of the math quiz itself, artificial intelligence have to digest the image, what's inside, and trying to solve the quizzes. So my model actually failed a lot of times just to delivering the math quiz in the image itself. So even the diagrams need to be regenerated into the code itself, which is TikZ picture. I will introduce those kind of things in the following episodes, but for now, I'm just briefly introduce what I'm gonna do. So here is one of the thinking that I was curious about. There's a lot of open sources like Nemotron or from NVIDIA and Qwen, K2, GLM 5.2 just dropped today, which is very close to the Opus 4.8, right? So those kind of things. So I was literally using Gemma for 26B A4B. I will talk more about how the model works and how to properly fit it into your local computer so you can maximize your token speed per second. Anyway, I got it from the Claude Opus that it gave me a GPQA Diamond score from the Hugging Face. So this is the problem. I just wanted to do some bare tests. Which model will fit it into my local computer and generate the math quizzes for me? Because as you can see, Korean math quizzes have very formal boxes like this. And sometimes the figures are so small that the vision model can read the image, but if you don't increase the size, then you will lose lots of the chances. Computer does not understand if the image is so small, then it cannot understand how the figure looks like. So you have to make it enlarge first by rasterizing it. I will talk about that for the following episode, how I OCR and parse the text of the math quizzes block to the computer text, plain text, and save it into the markdown file. I'll talk about in the following episode, but that's how I deal with these kind of things. So I ran my own arena, and as you can see in the center, I used the Qwen 3.6, 35 billion with the activated parameters 3 billion at a time. So it's kind of like smaller version of the Qwen 3.6 itself. I can't run those kind of big stuff in my small local computer. But as you can see, the Gemma versus Qwen 3.6, the scoreboard that I just showcased a couple slides ago, that the Qwen 3 was above in the GPQA score. But from my side, what I learned is that let me magnify it slightly here so you can understand what's going on. So Gemma got 88% success rate from the 24 all contents of the figures that I gave as of a test run. But for Qwen, it got only 67% successful rate. So even people say in the Hugging Face community that SWE-bench or deep SWE-bench or other very famous arena scores or leaderboards are practically will not be suited into your personal cases. So you have to find your own use cases, running the models by yourself, and test those kind of data and fit it those kind of valuable data to the frontier models like Gemini or Claude, ChatGPT, the stuff that you subscribe monthly. Then they will tell you what to do. That's the way that I dealt with that Gemma 4 is the best model that I can put it into my workflow for now. But as the AI grows more, probably they will drop more advanced version, maybe end of this year, I think. But at least I have my own workflow and I have my own schema, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Come in and I will put it into my suitcase and I'll see if that fit it into my drawer, so it's safe or not. Anyway, so the biggest win was the simplest. After all of the clever AI, that real breakthrough was the input. So if like I said, if the image is so tiny, then you have to make it bigger so that AI can assist you better. So all the time matter. Garbage in, garbage out is what I tell to my students every day. So if your input is bad, and if you don't have your own intention clearly to say it into the prompt itself, AI won't give you the right answer to yourself. Remember, those kind of things are very, very important when you're dealing with the artificial intelligence. So, like I said, I'm a teacher. I'm not a coder. My major was not computing science, but still, I'm running Claude every day with LM Studio, Claude and other, like, I also use a Claude Code and Claude Core with the skills, Hugging Face and GitHub repo. I search every website these days to find the best model and tools that I can implement on my work stream. So what's the first thing that you have to, I would suggest if you are new to all of these techniques, just go ahead, download the LM Studio and try very smaller models by yourself. Ask your situation to your frontier models, then make a consultation from there. Then you'll find out. But beforehand, you have to target your motivation. What's the goal that you want to do in that session? And finish it up, wrap them up, and come up with the other ideas. That way you can practice yourself. I will show you different kind of models, how to fit it into the LM Studio, how to fine tuning those kind of things to make it maximize their speed and get better qualities. And more about the stuff, how the OCR goes. All right. Thank you for listening for my podcast today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you for subscribing. Check out these useful videos right here.